So 1.05 is going to come out today, and oh my goodness, it gives us everything we asked for and more. This is probably the most exciting patch that I've seen for this game yet. Literally every single issue that we had that we were complaining about left and right has been fixed for the most part. There are a few things maybe that didn't, but all the major ones are fixed. Hatchet, you know who you are, okay? And other things. So let's jump right into this. So New World Update 1.05. Greetings, adventurers. This week's update introduces more general changes and bug fixes. We'd like to thank you for your patience as our team continues to work on resolving issues and for your continued reports on our official forums, which, by the way, guys, you should go to the official forums whenever you find bugs and let them know. They actually do read that, and it helps them a lot. You can find a full list of changes below. Okay, so this is let's just go top to bottom, okay? I'll go through all the biggest things. I'm not going to read it verbatim, okay? So coin seller, they know what pesky chat message is. It's super annoying. And we discovered that many coin sellers were creating new characters and transferring money to other accounts. So here's what they did. They banned and suspended many of the reported accounts, which I'm pretty sure is like in the thousands. Thank you for your reports for players spamming chat. Added restrictions to prevent player-to-player trading and currency transfer from characters under level 10, or whose account is less than 72 hours old. Logging in after your account is 72 hours old will enable your ability to trade and transfer currency once you've hit level 10. Redistributed coin value from some early quests to later in the main story quest line, keeping the total amount of coins earned the same, just delivered in the quest slightly later. So if you ever make a new character someday, those first quests are going to give pretty much nothing for coins, I assume, and then once you get to like level 20, then suddenly everything's given like 200 coins per quest instead of 100, something like that. Trading post usage will be restricted until new characters accept the introduction to trading post quest in their first settlement. We will monitor the impact this has on bots and the health of the game and continue to adjust as necessary, which is pretty cool. I'm excited to see about that. I mean, we're still going to see the spammy chat messages, though, which is kind of unfortunate. Honestly, one thing I almost would hate to see them do it, but at the same time, it would help a lot, is if new characters could not post any messages in help and recruitment and global and all that. If they made it so new accounts can't do that for 2 hours or until you're level 5 or 10 or whatever, level 10 probably. I don't know if they want to go that extreme, because at least then it would be we'd see less of those messages, because messages are still going to be a thing. I'm 100% sure on that. So exploits, this is one nobody even talked about, but I saw on the forums. Apparently there was also a way to duplicate items. Only items, not money, using storage sheds. And there's a way to craft for free or duplicate, make multiple craft attempts or something. So they fixed all that. They fixed the duplicating when, with company, and you make a job board type thing where upgrade your settlement and then cancel it or whatever. But that was only because of them turning off the economy. So that was a pretty easy fix. But now let's get to combat. Now this is where really a lot of us are caring about. So they changed orbit protection. It's not doing a small area effect that triggered on pass-through from every version, every player it goes through and things. I don't think it was intended to work that way. Now it only triggers when it actually hits an enemy or object. And then a big one here. So here are some pretty big ones. They reduced attribute respec coin cost by 60%. So it was 500 at level 60. So now it's, what is that, like 225 or something? And then reduced weapon mastery respec Azoth cost by 75%. Now I forget what it was before. Was it 50? Was it 100? Was it 200? It was less than 200, I'm pretty sure. But whatever it is, it's going to be cheap now. They reduced the coin cost of chisels by 20 to 50% depending on the tier, which will make it way easier. Not way easier, but easier to get into Lazarus and Genesis, which I'm sure there's a big audience of players who are going to be thrilled about that, even though they want more probably, but at least it's something, And then to encourage competition and outpost rush, we slightly reduced the coin and Azoth rewards for the losing team. Now, I don't know how extreme they've made it. Probably not very extreme, but they may have to go even more extreme on this, because there is, you got Outpost Rush, and all the time there's just teams that are hard throwing on purpose to get it over with. So hopefully they made it 100 Azoth and 150 coins for the losing team, and then 300, 200 for the winning team, or something where it makes you actually want to play and win. But we'll have to see. They'll probably keep monitoring that. Now here's a really interesting one that a lot of people are aware of and they've fixed, is they've made it so You know, like when you're taking over a territory and there's that bar that fills and then it goes into conflict. But if there was an invasion, you couldn't do it. Well, now they're apparently, according to this statement, they're going to have it so above or below the invasion incoming bar or whatever, there's going to also be your normal bars so that you can still fight for conflict and stuff and get the territory into conflict even though there's an invasion going on. So that's what I'm thinking they're saying. At least the bars are going to be there. I don't know if you can still declare or not, how that's going to work out logistically, but we'll have to see. Then there's identical weapon equipping. You could put on 2 of the same weapon, and then it would make it so you could swap the weapons and really fast and shoot really fast or something. I don't remember. Or use abilities. I don't remember. There's whatever it is. It's fixed, though. But now here's where things get good, guys. This is where, well, mainly this, is where everything we wanted is going to be. So let's just start. So group scaling passives. Fixed issues which could cause passive effects that scaled on the number of nearby foes, such as bloodlust, great axe, against all odds, hatchet, and outnumbered, warhammer, to apply incorrectly. So that should fix the hatchet doing 300% damage bug. I don't know if you guys were aware, but Warhammer had a similar thing for defense that was going on that a lot of people didn't talk about that made Warhammer people like unkillable feeling. And then Bloodlust, you didn't really, in PvP Bloodlust, it didn't matter all that much. You probably saw and dealt with it, but it wasn't nearly as crazy as the hatchet one that everyone was paying attention to. But that should be fixed. Cross your fingers. We'll see after the patch goes live. And hopefully doing this doesn't somehow break a million other things. But if it does, then, I don't know, we'll find out pretty fast. And then you better bet on this YouTube, I'll post updates on what the situation is with the state of the game. Spell strike consistency. Fixed issues which cause several magic spells such as Ice Storm and Gravity Well to not hit consistently. Now, hopefully, this will fix the issues with, was it Fire Staff and Ice Gauntlet users. A lot of their magic spells just were not working correctly anymore. I had people who literally quit the game over it. They were like, well, I'm not coming back till they fix this. I literally can't play. I do half my DPS because half my abilities literally don't work. So hopefully that fixes that. It's kind of vague. So we'll have to test and see after it goes live. Now this one I am thrilled about because it was so busted. Resilient, aka Void Bent Armor. Fixed an issue that caused this perk to reduce all damage instead of just damage from critical hits. Let's go, guys. So no more Void Bent people walking in, having 10 people on them and just not dying. So now, when also they were combining that with the Warhammer one, and it was like, it was so stupid. Onyx might still be busted. I'll have to find out about that. I'll have to check. But at least the Resilient is gone. So now they're not like 70% damage absorption or whatever it was, effectively, by, you know, that plus the actual armor itself, which is just stupid. So that's fixed, and now we can actually enjoy the game if you're not a, you know, Great Axe, Life Staff, Void Bent Armor user. You can actually enjoy the game now because you can actually potentially kill them. So that's exciting. And then there's apparently an issue in PvP and PvE players could heal each other even though one guy was flagged. So then there's just some stuff. They fixed an issue that allowed players to get out of the starting fort before the match starts. That was actually a thing. There was a way you could just climb over something and jump out and start capping all the points. So that's fixed. They also fixed a huge one that people in my company kept complaining about, which was there was a way to basically duplicate the brute summoning token by having multiple people deposit their tokens into the thing at the exact same time. And if they did it at the same time, they just all would get the the summoning stone thing. Even though they only had 500 Azoth total, it would just give them all of them things. So it was busted as heck. People were summoning like 10, 15 brutes a game and stuff. It was just OP. The only real ones that stand out to me in here are they fixed an issue causing Battle Bread to be twice as effective as intended, updated the tooltip for it, fixed something where you get stuck in a teleport loop if you teleported out of Outpost Rush while using Unstuck. Now bug fixes. I'm just going to read the good ones here. The repair kits no longer require coins to use. For some people that might be interesting, but the big one, big one that stands out to me, and oh, I'm so thankful they fixed it, and if you are someone who uses foods, you should be too. Fixed an issue that sometimes caused players to use the wrong consumable when using consumables from the inventory screen. My goodness. Guys, I've literally thrown away like probably 3,000 coins by eating the wrong thing. You pick like cornbread, use, and it's like, oh, it just ate my 2,000 luck food instead for no reason. Oh, let me try again. Cornbread, use. Oh, now it ate my 2,000 luck logging food. Oh my god, that literally cost me 100 coins. Like, and another has 200 coins. I literally have lost like 3,000 plus coins to eating the wrong food, guys. So I'm very, very, very thankful this is fixed. I know I'm not the only person who has had to deal with that bug. I've heard a lot of people having to deal with that bug and being equally like annoyed by it. The next huge one in here is they fixed an issue allowing magic weapons to animation cancel their primary attacks with weapon swap or targeting spells, causing rate of fire to be faster than intended, which is great. I don't know if you guys ever got shot by the machine gun, but if you could take a magic weapon and you could left click and then pull up an AoE ability like the firestorm thing, whatever it's called, and then immediately as soon as you pop up that on the screen, you swap weapons and then left click again and you can just attack again. And I remember I was in town like testing it to see if it was real, and as soon as I started testing it, 3 guys were up to me just using hard macros and we're just like just attacking as fast as you can. If you went too fast, it wouldn't let you shoot. Actually, it would cancel your auto attack. But all these people had macros where it was like down to the millisecond. It was the absolute maximum speed consistently every single time. And they just sat there shooting at me with it for like a minute straight and then ran off. And I'm like, man, there are literally people out there abusing this with actual macros. So I'm really glad they fixed that. That was super obnoxious. Next up is more Ice Gauntlet fixes. So hopefully that is the, also fixed more of the spells that were busted. And then this one is a rare thing, but I think you guys should know about this. Is kind of funny and unfortunate for some people. Fixed an issue that could cause a player to lose their house while offline during maintenance. In a future update, we will be reimbursing the players who encountered this issue. Exact details around the reimbursement will be in the corresponding update notes. So guys, that was real. I actually saw many comments about it. People were like, what the heck? I got on today after this patch and my house, I don't have a house now. It was real, guys. There were actually people out there who lost their houses. There's maintenance, and you wake up the next day, and now you don't have any houses. And your money's still, you don't get refunded or anything. It's just gone. So that's a huge thing, a small little thing just like buried in the general bug fixes that for some people, they're going to be extremely thrilled to see that. Another thing was there was apparently a bug. I remember I saw about this where I think it was in Reekwater, and it would make an insane number of enemies spawn, like literally like 100 plus type of feel. I don't remember how many it was, but that's what it was like. And they were all like high level enemies or elite or whatever, so you literally couldn't do a certain quest because there were just so many of the enemy, and apparently they fixed that. And then another thing that they fixed, which is really good if you're on a server like Anowin, where I'm doing my 100k coin giveaway challenge or whatever, speedrun. And there was a thing where on that server, for whatever reason, you go to Windsward, and I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about, because I'm sure there's other people out there who are on high pop servers who know what I'm talking about. You go to Windsward during peak hours, and there are so many people there that you'd go to the trading post, and it was unresponsive. You'd like buy something, and you could just leave it for like 2 hours, and it would never go through. And no matter what you relog, you try anything you want, it does not matter. You just have to wait until it's not peak hours. Then you can use Windsward trading post, because that's how many people were in Windsward on that server. And it was breaking it because of that. It was crazy. Along that same line, they improved server performance when a large number of players congregate in settlements, which I think is, those kind of go together as how they fixed that. The last two we got here were fixed an issue that caused some territory influence to not be properly recognized when lots of players turned in PvP missions simultaneously. I never dealt with that, but I'm sure there are people who did. And then there is an issue of fixed an issue preventing gear score to increase past 589 from drop rewards. Now, I'm absolutely certain that some people know all about this and are like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy that that's fixed. I'm not familiar with it because all I ever get to do is work 14 hours a day making videos and crafting items for my company. But I'm sure people who are farming their high watermark, whatever they call it, HWS, whatever, they had some acronym for it. I'm sure you guys know all about this. And then other than that, there's just some speculative fix about implemented change to help us dig into the timed out while waiting for server to describe world issue, which I personally am not familiar with. I'm sure someone out there is. So they're tentatively looking at that, and won't be till next patch that is probably actually fixed. But they're doing something. They probably added something that'll help them track it and better understand what causes it and how to fix it. But there you have it, guys. Pretty much everything that we asked for and more in 1.05. This is actually such a good sign for the health of the game that, like, I don't know how to tell you guys this. I know a lot of people complain about, oh, this game's so buggy, blah, 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 Cyberpunk all over again, blah, 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 you know what I mean? And those are fair critiques, but the thing that I want to say about it is that I've never seen a dev team that knows what they're doing as far as focusing on the right problems and getting it done. Like, I just want to tell you guys a quick little thing about Archage. Did anyone ever play Archage? I played Archage when it launched, okay? This is to give you a reference point if you're not familiar with MMOs and how bad it can be. Archage launched, I think it was the first weekend after launch. The servers crashed and nobody could play. And everybody went to the forums and complained. And you know what they said? They basically said, oh, okay, when we get into work on Monday, we'll fix it. So first week of launch of an MMO, nobody could play Friday, Saturday, or Sunday because they didn't want to come back into work on the weekend. Like, that is how seriously they took their game. And not to mention, they weren't like, oh, there's this game-breaking bug. Oh, that's what's going to be in our next patch. No. If there was some issue, you wouldn't see it fixed for who knows how long. And it was like the hatchet thing. It might be around for a month and a half. So I personally, with my past experience on MMOs, I think they're doing one heck of a job of actually listening to us, fixing the things that matter as quickly as they can. I mean, as far as like the future of this game, what I'm seeing with 1.05 makes me extremely optimistic about the future of New World because it looks like they actually are prioritizing the correct things and getting it done and shipping it out in a timely manner. So for 1.06, 1.07, all the way to the first expansion, whenever that is, I'm very excited about the way that they're going to progress this MMO. But there you have it. The hatchet is fixed. Bloodlust is fixed. Warhammer is fixed. Resilience is fixed. Tentatively speaking, we'll see because they made this game with CryEngine, so when they fix something, it may just break 10 million other things. But we'll have to see. But assuming it all goes mostly well, all the things that we've been complaining about have now been fixed. On top of that, gold duping's gone for the most part. I'm sure there's probably people out there who know some way, somehow, but most of the majority of people who are doing it don't know now. Bans went out like crazy. Oh man, you should see. I don't want to reveal sources, but my goodness, guys, there are so many people like upset about I got banned. They figured out my main. Oh my gosh, I was using alt accounts for my I was using alt accounts for the gold duping. How did they find out my main? I never transferred money to my main. Oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you guys would be pretty happy to see and hear some of the ban stories that I've been able to see. It's been something. So the game's in a good state. I'm looking forward to everything. 1.05 looks like a freaking fire patch. It's going to be so good, assuming it doesn't break a million things. Game's headed in the right direction. I'm totally optimistic and thrilled about what is happening next. So that is, let me see what day it is. I forgot what day it was. It's November 4th, 2021, when 1.05 comes out. It comes out 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I think it was 2 a.m. UTC, if I remember right, is when the servers go down. They'll be down for 3 hours, and then they come back up, and patch 1.05 will be live, assuming there's no delays in maintenance. But finally, we can play the game again. We can play Outpost Rush. We don't have to deal with hatchet people doing 300 times damage. We don't have to deal with Void Armor Warhammer guys running at us, literally invincible. It's going to be a good time, and wars are going to be more balanced now. It's just going to be a lot more fun. I can't wait for 1.05 to be live in a few hours, and I'm going to be out there, and I'm going to be playing New World.